All right. Good evening and welcome everyone to Facebook Live here at WPTV.com. I'm Matt Sczesny, joined by my colleague Michelle Quesada, and also we're joined by Robert Norberg, who's the president of Ardent Insurance. We are talking about homeowners insurance in the state of Florida. Many people, thousands, if not more, are getting cancellation notices. They're getting information about premiums going up $1,000, $1,500. We even heard about $2,000 a year. There's a lot of factors involved as to why this insurance is rising, and that's part of our discussion tonight. Michelle and I both had two stories on the 5:30 newscast this evening tackling this issue, and maybe we should introduce Michelle, because Michelle, you kind of kicked it off tonight with
absolutely. And good evening to everyone who's joining us. Really the point of this conversation is for us to be able to answer your questions, for you to see the in-depth reporting that Matt and I put together, to hear from Robert, who's an expert in this field, really tell us what's going on and answer your questions. So before we get too deep in the conversation, I want you all to see the story we ran at 5:30, because that'll get us kicked off into what this issue really is.
It was the letter Cable Newhouse was dreading.
Surprise, surprise. I was being canceled.
His insurance company, Gulfstream Property and Casualty, is one of three major companies dropping 50,000 residential property policies in Florida over the next month. You can guess who Cable called immediately: his insurance agent.
He came back with a new equivalent policy in terms of coverage, but it was triple the annual premium.
If somebody is calling me with an increase of 20 to 40, 50%, that doesn't surprise me ever.
Lee Wigglesworth is the owner of Wigglesworth Rindham Insurance Agency in Stewart. He says some clients are seeing quotes double or triple depending on their location.
How did we get to this point?
That's a short question with a long answer.
As of last year, estimated losses from Hurricane Irma and Michael totaled about $29 billion in claims. The major problem driving up cost of insurance, though, litigation. The downward spiral of the property and casualty insurance market didn't start in the court system, but that's where it's being held up. Mark Friedlander with the Insurance Information Institute says, believe it or not, it started at your door.
A roofer comes knocking on your door, says, we just did your neighbor across the street, beautiful new roof. And guess what? Your neighbor didn't even pay for that beautiful new roof. We could do the same for you.
The policyholder signs what's called an assignment of benefits, or an AOB, over to the roofing company, which basically means now the third party can stand in the shoes of the insured and seek payment directly from the insurance company.
The insurer says, wait a second, this is an outrageous expense. Then the roofer gets together with the attorney, and the attorney files a lawsuit against the insurer. And the policyholder, the homeowner, has no idea this is happening.
According to a report presented to the Florida legislature, in 2019 alone, insurance companies paid nearly $3 billion in lawsuit costs.
These type of frivolous lawsuits are being filed by the thousands.
The report also found that while a significant number of claims filed after storms is driving up costs, about 60% of the lawsuits filed against insurers are unrelated to catastrophes.
You now have insurers that need to take drastic actions to keep operating, really to stay above water and keep the business running.
Cable feels like he's treading water himself, up against a deadline to get his home insured at an affordable price.
You got to do what you got to do. You have to have your home insured.
Michelle Quesada, WPTV News Channel 5.
So there we heard from Cable Newhouse, who is, a gentleman out in Palm Beach Gardens, got the letter like, thousands of other people have from Gulfstream. And I just saw a comment earlier from someone else on the stream, Robin Loy Cesario, mine also Gulfstream. So, just seeing that this is happening to thousands of people. Robert, what's your initial take on this? Just, I'm sure you're getting calls about it as well from your clients.
Oh, yeah. Pretty much every single client that calls in is talking about the rate increase or, in fact, some of the non-renewals. And it's a long story that's been going on for years. And it came to a head this past year with a lot of the non-catastrophe claims, and the lawsuits, like you said, are the big driver. I mean, Florida accounts for about 8% of all the claims in the country for homeowners insurance, but they also account for 70% of all litigated claims. So that's a telling factor right there. And so the insurance companies basically have nothing they can do either to non-renew to reduce their risk or, get higher rate increases if they can get them approved. So your average consumer is going to see 30 to 70% this year. And we think that may continue as a trend next year until all these lawsuits kind of wash their way out.
Yeah, I saw the frustration in one comment from Jamie, who wrote, "Beyond disturbing what has been allowed to happen here, don't penalize the innocent people." But that's exactly what's happening. As you mentioned, homeowners are caught in the middle of this.
Yeah, and in many of these cases, the homeowners have nothing to do with these lawsuits that the roofing companies are filing against the insurance companies. In many cases, the homeowners don't even know that happened. They just got the roof and they, went through the process and they didn't know that there was litigation involved. And, I remember you threw out that stat about over 70% of all the U.S. claims, litigation claims are coming from Florida. But also, if you look at the payouts from the recent data, it's showing that 8% of the money is actually going to claims for these litigation cases, but 71% of those payouts is going on attorney fees. So a huge chunk of that money is going to the litigation costs, essentially.
Rob, yeah.
And when you look at, Robert, and by the way, anyone who's joining the conversation, please ask your questions. That's what this is for right now. We want to hear your comments. We want to get your questions.
I have one question from Robert. Yeah, because Robert, you mentioned that this sort of thing's been going on for a while. How many years has it been like this?
Well, the AOB crisis, as we call it, started probably a good 5 years ago when the bad players out there, the bad actors, started learning the way around some of these policy contract things. And then you throw in, when they get an attorney involved, we got the threat of the one-way attorney fee and the attorney fee multipliers that are getting thrown into some of these claims. So you have a claim that might end up starting at $40,000, but the attorney's getting to tack on $1 million in fees. So that's where the big problem comes in.
And Angela is asking, why haven't we heard about it before now? Because we have seen, last year, I know there were people who reported that their premiums or rates had gone up, but why are we hearing about this storm now?
Well, it takes a little while for these things to, work through the books of the insurance companies and to, see how their financials are going. And what happened is a lot of these claims and things, like I said, were from previous storms. So Florida, until recently, we have legislation now that's going to limit the lag time on filing a claim. But you could file a hurricane claim up to 3 years after the event. So a lot of people were getting the door knockers, like you showed in your thing. A roofer says, "Hey, you got roof leaks. Maybe we can help you get a new roof, no charge to you." Or the other one that's really bad is the plumber that comes out and says, "Hey, you got a little plumbing leak under your sink here. I can connect you with a guy to get a whole new kitchen." So those types of things have been going on, like I said, for years. And now they've become a big business for all these attorneys and these attorneys firms that have worked their way around the system.
And what you just said brings us to the next point, which Angela and Robin have pointed out. I'm sorry. Yeah, Robin Rose has pointed out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. It is Angela. Someone else asked, how is this legal for these roofers to do this? Well, now the state legislature has passed a bill that would essentially buckle down, right, in these cases, and you wouldn't be able to file these claims after 2 years. 2 years after hurricane, you can no longer file these claims. It would also put more restrictions on the contractors. They cannot file the claim for you. And they also cannot go door to door and putting these advertisement solicitations. That's illegal now as well. Once the governor signs the bill, of course, that hasn't happened yet, but the bill has passed. Real quick, Robert, with seeing thousands of people seeing their policies drop, can you talk about what could cause your insurance company to pick your policy? Are they just picking names out of a hat? Is there a reason? Because some people say, well, I haven't put a claim on my home in years. Why is my policy getting dropped?
Yeah, most of the companies have a computer program, very sophisticated, that can kind of predict claims based on the characteristics of the house. For example, if it's an older home, And if it's got an older roof, you know, the likelihood of having a claim, if it's closer to the water, you know, likely to have claims is what they put into their computers, and they're able to do that. And there's a lot of these older policies that where they've not been able to charge enough premium for the risk. So, you know, they're looking at the profitability of that policy. So a lot of people think that, hey, you can only get dropped if you had claims. Well, that's not the way it works with homeowners insurance.
Are you also seeing cases where insurance companies are saying, well, unless you mitigate these issues that we're seeing, your roof is over 10 years old or over 15 years old, you know, unless you mitigate this, then we may have to drop your policy as well?
Right. Yeah. And a lot of them are going back now. And personally, I've had a lot of, you know, clients, friends of mine, relatives that got the letter that says, hey, we see that your roof is more than 15 years old. You've got until the end of next term to update it, or we're going to non-renew the policy. And as far as new business is concerned, you know, people can't just say my rate went up anymore and go out and get a new policy, because they're going to run into those same roof guidelines. Roof guideline right now is the biggest driver for everybody.
Hey, Robert, I'm wondering if this is also driving up the reinsurance industry, because not many people, I guess, realize a lot of these companies, they're insured also. And I've heard those rates on insurance companies have gone up as well.
Exactly correct there, Matt. And, you know, the reinsurance was pulling the strings for a lot of these carriers over the past few years, and the reinsurance got too expensive where they couldn't get rate approval to pass that through to the clients. So they just said, we're going to stop writing. Or the reinsurer said, hey, unless you non-renew this particular part of your book of business, we're not going to give you the reinsurance rate we have. So, but we have heard from the reinsurance marketplace right now that based on the pending legislation that's passing, that should help the reinsurance rates either stabilize or drop in some cases. So like I said, in the future, we might see some more stabilization as long as we don't get a big, massive storm to throw into the mix.
Well, that was the other part of this, right? Because the losses from Michael and Irma also contributed to some of the losses for these insurance companies as well.
Correct. It's all in their main loss numbers, but by far the bulk of this has been the litigation, what we call the non-cat claims that are coming in by the droves, you know, and they all know that they're coming in due to a lot of this AOB action, as well as first party lawsuits that they come in on. So
yeah, we've had over 100,000, I think, last year filed of these claims that had nothing to do with the non-cat claims.
Right.
It's pretty wild. But I do want to get to a comment that I saw. Tiffany Eileen said, my roof is 7 years old. I was told to replace my roof or find a new company to cover me. 7 years old. That's unheard of to hear that.
Yeah, and it depends on the marketplace in the area. You know, most of your major, what we call admitted domestic carriers right now have gone to a 10-year roof life. Some have gone, believe it or not, to 2019 and newer. So they're basically saying we only want new stuff. And that's one of the ways that the insurance carrier can kind of limit their risk and kind of pick and choose the risks they want to have. But other than that, you know, it's a tough marketplace right now.
Hey, Robert, here's an interesting comment. Liz wrote, we were told if we do replace our roof, the rate increase doesn't go away. And no, you know, big question mark, why is that? Yeah.
The rate increase does not go away. However, when you do get a new roof, you then get the wind mitigation discount credits that you weren't getting before. So, yeah, and that's what I encourage everybody. If you're going to get the new roof, make sure you get the wind mitigation inspection and get all those updated credits.
Well, and before we go into options, because that's a big thing, you know, everybody's asking, what are my options? You know, Matt did a great story today that we'd love to be able to show as well. You know, he looks into what can you do if this happens to you?
Right. We spoke with a homeowner, like many of the people offering comments here, who got a big rate increase. And this guy was pretty highly motivated because he took it upon himself to search out there for a new rate. And this was the story. Take a look.
Took a lot of legwork to do it.
Steve Epley of Boynton Beach knows firsthand how hard it is to find affordable homeowners insurance.
It takes discipline. Yeah.
He was forced to do it the hard way when earlier this year his insurance company suddenly raised his premiums by nearly $1,000.
Yep.
Steve says he shopped around, contacting 11 different companies until he found what he was looking for.
My rate is almost identical to what I paid last year in 2019 before the rate hike. Yeah.
Getting that kind of result is not easy, according to the state's insurance consumer advocate.
The insurance market is really at a place where it is largely unstable at this point.
Tasha Carter, talking by Zoom from Tallahassee, says companies are raising rates or even canceling policies because of losses from hurricanes, $20 billion in 2017 from Irma and $9 billion a year later from Michael, and also a spike in insurance fraud.
It is worth a consumer reaching out to their insurance agent.
She says shopping around like Steve Epley did is worth a try, along with some other things.
Another option for consumers to consider is reviewing their insurance policy to ensure that they are taking advantage of all of the eligible premium discounts and to ensure that they're not paying for coverage that they don't need.
Strengthening your home can also lead to insurance savings, such as installing impact windows and then having an insurer reinspect the home. And then there is the last resort in Florida insurance, Citizens. They often criticize government-supported insurers.
That's a realistic solution, primarily based upon the fact that I think the most recent statistic that I've read is that Citizens is growing by about 4,000 policies per week. So that means that they are, willing to insure.
Citizens is the last one that I would ever think of.
Steve Epley says he never considered Citizens and says once his house is paid off, he plans to self-insure.
To me, it means I'm just going to take what I normally would pay and I'll invest it in something liquid that I can get at if I need it. So I'll put it away because I just don't have faith in insurance companies.
The state's insurance consumer advocate says self-insuring while gaining in popularity can also be risky, especially, she says, in the event of a destructive hurricane, which can drive repair and replacement costs very high. In West Palm Beach, Matt Sczesny, WPTV, News Channel 5. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack there, Robert, I'm sure. So let's start with the discounts, I guess, first, right? That's one thing that a homeowner can just take out their policy and go through it and see if they do qualify for any discounts, if they can get any discounts. Is that the best place to start, looking through the policy?
Yeah, and again, a consumer may not be as most, savvy to all the things that happen on their policy. I would suggest also that you call your agent and either get a sit down, get a call, get a relook, and just make sure you're getting all the discounts. But ask the questions to yourself. Have you gotten a new roof recently? Have you updated to make sure all openings in the building are, impact rated? Because a lot of people say, hey, I got all new impact windows, but if you didn't fix all the doors, you're not getting any credit. So right there's a few things that an insurance agent would be able to tell you rather than you knowing it yourself. There are also companies out there that do what they call wind mitigation retrofits, where they will come in and re-nail your rafters for you with hurricane coat straps, which can give a huge discount. And knowing all these mitigation features are very important before you, like, for instance, put a new roof on. Because if you put a new roof on, if you ask and spend a little more money for what they call secondary water resistance barrier, most people don't know about that, but it can only be done when you apply a new roof. And if you get that done, it's a huge major credit. A lot of people don't understand that. So they don't buy it.
Right.
And, Valerie her comment was just up about how she had to do things and Citizens was the only one to insure her home. But someone else also mentioned that Citizens is not cheap either. I mean, it's also expensive, and they just got an approval to go up to 15% of an increase, I believe, from the Office of Insurance Regulation. And all this, people also ask, how can this happen? Who approves this? The Office of Insurance Regulation approves these rate hikes because they have to make sure these insurance companies can cover these claims should there be a hurricane, right? Which is why you see a lot of these insurance companies now shedding policies to make room and be able to cover what they promise they're going to cover.
Right. The insurance carrier must have they have the financial responsibility to be able to cover what they call a 1 in 100 year storm. And most companies buy reinsurance so they can cover multiple year storms in one season. But they have to keep those financials up. And one of the only ways to do that is either buy more reinsurance and then pass that on to the consumers, or stop writing policies and consolidate what they have. So,
yeah. Robert, let's talk about Citizens, because a lot of people are commenting on it, and it is out there. It is gaining in popularity, as we saw Tasha Carter say. I think they expect to have 700,000 policies by the end of the year. Is the criticism of Citizens misplaced now, or is it still something to be considered as a last resort for a lot of people?
Well, it is designed as the market of last resort. However, over the past few years, it's become a regular competitive market. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I happen to be on the Citizens Advisory Agency Council, so I have a lot of insight. Right now, they are actually up to more than 6,000 policies per week that are coming in due to the non-renewals and the lack of availability, especially in South Florida. But as far as Citizens is concerned, it's designed to be a basic policy that covers everything you would need, but it's not going to have all the bells and whistles. As far as claim servicing and payment right now, Citizens is actually one of the best in the industry. And as far as stability, Citizens, if you look at their financials, is also rated as one of the best places to be as far as financials, because Citizens, being state-run, they have a lot of different oversight than a standard market company would be. And they also have gone out and bought their own reinsurance to make sure they're stable. So they're going to be pushing close to, we think, about 750,000 policies, down from 1.2 or 1.4 million where they started a few years ago. But they may end up being over 1 million soon again. But what's going to happen is a lot of the people that are going into Citizens may end up getting back out into the standard market once the rates stabilize through the assumption process again. So Citizens is not as bad as a lot of people think. And it is kind of a better price window. Some cases it's going to be more, some cases it's going to be less. So,
and what about their exposure, right? I mean, when the enrollment was pretty high, there was concerns about Citizens exposure, wasn't there?
Yeah, and there's a thing in the Citizens policy that says that this is an assessable policy. So basically, simple words is, if Citizens ever runs out of money due to a major catastrophe, the policyholders and all citizens of Florida will get an assessment to help recover and pay back some of those losses. So that's the assessment potential of Citizens. However, in Citizens history, that's never happened because it would take a major storm to wipe out all of Citizens policies in their reserve so that they wouldn't be able to pay claims. So,
you know, we were talking about, you were talking about more people going to Citizens because they're getting dropped or their premiums are going too high. The positive flip side of this, at least in talking to Tasha Carter, is there still are new insurance companies coming to do business here in Florida, right? And that was the lucky case for the gentleman in the story I did. He actually found a company called Kin Insurance, and he was able to get a policy directly. But there are companies still coming in, new companies coming in doing business here, right?
Right, and we're going to see that, you know, with every bad market condition we have, there's opportunities for those companies. So the company you mentioned there is a new company that has come into Florida, and it is what we call an insurtech company, which means it does not have any agents. So it's more of a buy online type of thing. However, they are also not writing in every single marketplace either, or for every single home. So
yeah, and
you still got to qualify.
Right. And I think we had a comment about that too. Someone did call Kin, Leslie Brock, so she called Kin, and they don't even do her area. I'm not sure what part of South Florida she lives in, but getting back to exactly what what your options are. I spoke to an insurance expert earlier today who said, before you're told that Citizens is your last resort or that you have to redo your entire roof, he says shop around. Do you think, Robert, is there hope for people to talk to an independent agent that can have a tap into the entire market and be able to find a good rate that still covers what they need?
Yeah, that's correct. And I encourage my clients as well. Because as an independent agent, I only have a certain number of companies that I'm licensed to do business with or contracted with. The guy down the street might have some other companies. But the critical thing is when you're shopping for insurance is to understand either what you're getting in return or what you're giving up. And that's the biggest thing I see in our marketplace right now. There are people shopping purely on price, but they're giving up problems. They're giving up coverage. They're buying a less of a policy, and they're taking more deductibles. So you got to talk with somebody who knows what you're willing to do, and
Yeah. And Maria Taylor.
This comment is pretty good, Michelle, from Maria, because
I see her frustration. Like, she has done everything she thought she could, and still her claims.
Even Citizens dropped her. So and her premium now is $7,500 with AIG. Robert, the final point from the story I did tonight was this gentleman down in Boynton. He said some other of his other neighbors and other people he knows who have their homes paid off are now choosing to self-insure, bypassing insurance companies entirely. For anyone who's not too familiar with that, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but these people essentially are paying the premiums to themselves into some sort of investment or liquid account, and then apparently saving enough money, at least they think, to cover any costs of repairs or damage. Good idea, bad idea? What do you think about self-insuring?
Well, from my insurance nerd perspective, self-insurance is bad. And here's why. There are ways that we can instruct you and help you take on more risk or self-insure for part of that loss. But for the average consumer, they don't have the money in the bank or the savvy to invest on a regular basis to cover the catastrophe loss that might happen. So I do have a lot of clients, but most of them wealthy, that have said, hey, I've got enough money in the bank to replace this house and 2 more if it got lost. Okay. Your average consumer, no. But the average consumer couldn't put on a new $30,000 roof if they had to today. So, and they don't have the investment savvy to do that. So we have, I can instruct people of ways. Maybe you cut out part of the windstorm. Maybe you take higher deductibles. So you're taking on a little more risk. You're self-insuring a little bit more, but you still got that full catastrophe loss. See, the other problem is a lot of people think the insurance policy is a maintenance policy. It should not be used for your minor repairs. It's for catastrophe loss or major sudden accidental loss. So if you're using it as a way to, get a, new roof when it's old, you should have been budgeting all along for a new roof.
Right. And Robert, I want to bring up too, new construction homes, because there was a comment that caught my attention that said, basically if you have a new home, you're going to have much better luck getting an insurance policy than if you are, if your home is a little bit older. And we're seeing that as well with new buyers who are buying a home that has been insured, maybe by the same company for many years. But now that there's a new buyer coming in, a new policy, they're saying, well, we're not going to write a policy for this home anymore. Have you seen that as well?
Yeah, correct. New home is the way to go. Like I said, anything that's, been built in the last 5 to 10 years is going to be likable by a lot of carriers out there. But when you start to get into a new purchase that might have an older roof, well, then the company, acceptance guidelines go downhill. So I would encourage everybody, if you're looking to buy a new home, look for something newer, or if it's older, look for something with a new roof. Okay, so with a 5-year-old roof, I placed one today. It was a 1989 house with a 5-year-old roof with a good admitted carrier. So, it's available.
Yeah. And what do you say to people? Like, I know there's a lot of people that are pretty nervous right now. They're worried because they have 45 days if they were dropped by their insurance carrier to find a new policy, get a new policy. And many of them have mortgage, have escrow, where if they don't get an insurance policy within those 45 days, their mortgage company will go ahead and do it for them. You know, so what are the options for those people, and what will happen if your mortgage company takes over?
Well, I would say, first of all, they should be able to find a policy, whether it be Citizen or somebody else. However, you still got to qualify. So, for example, if somebody says, hey, my roof is in bad shape, I'm not going to pass an inspection to qualify, well, then they got a huge problem. But if they're willing to do the things, shop the insurance, be ready to get what's called a new 4-point inspection, which looks at the 4 main features of the house to see if they're insurable, and that's a verification inspection. And then look at the wind mitigation inspection. Those type of things are something that you can run through people. I mean, I've given people good quotes, but they say, well, I'm not going to pay the $200 to get the inspection done. Or I can't
Robert,
Yeah.
Hey, Robert, I have a question about roofs specifically, because I'm starting to see a lot more metal roofs in neighborhoods nowadays. Is that a better option for?
Yeah, it is a better option
insurance?
because most carriers out there today give a longer, what we call insurable lifespan for a metal roof. So, some carriers have said in recent times that they'll only take a 10-year shingle roof and a 15-year tile roof, but they'll go 40 years on a metal roof. So, metal roof is the way to go. It is a little more costly in some cases, and as it builds in popularity, it'll probably be more costly. But yeah, I've had a lot of people out there, go to get a new roof, and I've said, hey, look into the metal roof if you can afford it. It also helps, in the long term if they're thinking of selling the house,
And, Isabella asked, what are the 3 companies dropping policies? So the ones approved to drop, and we saw in combined, there are 50,000 policies across the state of Florida: Southern Fidelity, Universal Insurance Company of North America, and of course, Gulfstream, which we've been talking about. But Robert, is there a chance that, we're going to see more companies dropping policies? This was a big concern as well from the gentleman I spoke with for my story earlier, who said, I'm worried that if I go ahead and get a policy from a different company that maybe I haven't heard of as much, but it, meets the coverage and meets what I need, that in 14 months, 18 months, I'm going to be back to square one, back in this predicament again.
Well, yeah, we have heard that there might be some more companies considering this option. But remember, this option is something that had to go through some strict approval with the Office of Insurance Regulation, we call the OIR. And they had to, jump through hoops in order to get that 45-day window. Normally, we'll see a non-renewal type of thing coming where they will get non-renewed for next term. So they get 102 days notice that says, hey, you're going to be non-renewed before your next term. So that's the normal thing. But when it comes to these financial decisions, see, the office has to consider these carriers and say, hey, do we let them non-renew a piece of their book or take the risk that they will fail completely if they have claims? So that's the thing that they're working with. So it's better to renew a small amount than to let the whole 90,000 policies go away.
How much is location playing a role in this? I mean, right, we always use 95 kind of as a dividing line. Is it people east of 95 that are having more trouble than the people west of 95? How does that play a factor at all?
Well, it plays a factor not in your pricing, but also in your availability of coverage. Yes. Closer to the water, the higher risk it is for the insurance company. So therefore, either they're A, not going to take it, or B, they will charge a higher wind rate in the windstorm premium part.
Yeah, and Joanne makes a really good point too. She's talking about, the reason why somebody would be dropped, and she's saying that it shouldn't be because, they drop and cover my coverage or refuse my coverage, especially when my roof passes inspection. But what we're seeing, just to reiterate the conversation, is that there really isn't, maybe somebody hasn't filed a claim in 10 years and they're still getting dropped. And it doesn't have to do so much with how old your roof is. In some cases, yeah, they might be checking location. They might be checking, which of the policy holders have older homes. But for the most part, we're seeing 20,000 people dropped by Gulfstream in Florida. We're seeing another couple thousand in total. It's 50,000. So we're seeing several thousand by Gulfstream, Universal, and Southern Fidelity. But people are trying to figure out what rhyme or reason why I'm getting dropped, and it may be at no fault of your own.
Here's two examples. Paula says I have a metal roof and I got dropped, and then Joanne says I'm west of 95. Makes no difference. And I think Robert, that's really hard when customers come to you and none of this seems to make any sense. It seems so arbitrary sometimes.
Well, yeah, and again, it goes into what they call the rating or the algorithm that these companies are running based on their book of business. See, they're flooding their system with all these details about their policyholders, and it's picking and choosing the ones that they feel are probably the least profitable or potential to have claims in the future. Or some may have already had claims in their history, some may not. But some might be in that window where they could be subjected to claims in the future. But the thing about, the other disconnect is that people say, hey, I bought a 45-year-old warranted roof. Well, the warranty of the roof has nothing to do with the insurability of that roof. Okay, as far as the insurance company is concerned, you can say I got a 45-year-old shingle roof, which I bought one of, but they're still going to say it's a asphalt shingle roof. It only has a 15-year roof life in our Florida heat. We know the breakdown of it. It's not a manufacturer's defect if that roof wears and tears. So a lot of people say, hey, I bought this expensive roof, but guess what? Now the insurance company says, hey, it's not gonna outlive our lifespan of 15 years.
And Jonathan, thanks for the shout out. He's a Rockstar Insurance agent. He says you're a Rockstar Insurance agent.
Yeah, well, I'm the local guy,
I know we're hearing a lot of, doom and gloom. Like people are like, what can we do? This doesn't make any sense. I want to kind of go back to, what you should look out for now that you are hunting for a new insurance agency if you were dropped, or if you're shopping around because your rate just got extremely high and you can't afford it. Robert, I know we talked about looking to see if you were overinsured for anything that you don't need, but really how important is it that when you're looking at these policies and these quotes that you're making sure that you're still getting the coverage you need to make your house whole in case something does happen? Because at the end of the day, we're peak hurricane seasons where we see the major hurricanes. And, thankfully, South Florida hasn't seen anything major, direct landfall major lately, but we never know, and that's the whole point of insurance.
Yeah. And again, when you're out there shopping, you can't just say, hey, I got a better price, because there's some reason in there that you got a dramatically different price. And when I analyze all these competitors' quotes that people bring to me, normally I can find a reason for that cheap price, and usually it's giving up coverages. And do they know that as a consumer? Is replacement cost on personal property been taken off and you didn't want it to be? Have you got a new policy that now has a full water damage exclusion? There are policies out there like that say, hey, we're not going to cover any loss from water damage, but we're giving it as a cheaper price.
Right. Yeah. So if it looks too good to be true, you need to really read the fine print and see what you're getting. Right. Another thing too that I've heard people say, well, if I bought my house at $200,000, I'm going to try to insure for that. But you have to think about if your house is gone, the prices of construction have gone up way higher. It's going to cost way more to build that house. So you got to make sure that you have the right, the right coverage, the right value for your home. And for those of you who are commenting on the comments, if you're looking for people to help, Robert's right here. We've also seen a ton of agents comment on there saying, I can help, I can provide coverage. So take advantage of those comments and skim through, because these are people who are knowledgeable. They know what's going on and they can help you. I know it's frustrating because a lot of people are saying, well, we have 45 days if they got from the moment they got the letter, 45 days to make this decision. How is it going to happen with so many people flooding, insurance companies trying to get policies?
Well, again, you got to immediately jump on that due diligence, call your agent, start shopping around. We get a lot of people, they come in off internet leads. And most people, again, say, hey, I just need to get something. Well, you got to start thinking about how you're going to qualify. If you're not going to do anything on the house, or it does have a lot of these old features, you got a big problem already. And even to get to Citizens, you have to qualify to get in. They're not just taking anything. But for those that are getting non-renewed, for those 3 carriers you mentioned, Citizens has put into place a little special procedure for their agents to get those people insured if they have to, and then come up with the inspections at a little bit later date. But they're still going to require it. But you gotta find and shop and do what you can do right away. But everybody should be able to find something. Don't wait. Don't wait till the last day.
It's real easy to get mad about it and throw your hands up, but then you have to get to work, right? And or put someone like you to work on it.
Absolutely. And I encourage anyone who's joined our conversation and is catching up, we, throughout this entire discussion, we went through all the things that got us to this point. And for somebody's point who just joined in, they said, oh, the litigation, the lawsuits, it's not just, it's also hurricane costs for claims. So a bunch of things got us to this point. So definitely I encourage you to go to WPTV.com and take a look at the stories that we were able to put together, so you can kind of get a feel for what's happening and why we're here. Somebody asked what agency Robert is with, Arden Insurance.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that too. That was good.
Yeah,
you might be getting a call later, Robert.
Well, yeah, and again, calls, answers, advice are always free for me. And we'll help direct you. We're not here just to sell policies. I mean, my agency started by my dad 50 plus years ago. We're here to be in the community, and we want to do what's right for the customer. If they've got a better policy already, I tell them that. Stick with what you got. Just understand that, sometimes the rate increase happens, and you got to do what you can to look at it. So,
Right.
I mean, a good general rule before this happened was, if you were paying 1 to 2% of your insured value for insurance, then you were in the ballpark of what you should be paying. But now, since the rate increases, that's gone out of the window. People are paying, 4 to 5%.
Yeah. Well, we wanted to do right by the viewers, because this has really just been an avalanche, and use another weather metaphor. It's been an avalanche of bad news for a lot of people, but we're just trying to help folks navigate through this. And I appreciate you taking the time to do this, Robert.
Yeah.
Thank you, Robert.
This is probably the worst marketplace as far as availability and affordability I've seen in my 22 plus years in the business, and even in my dad's 50 plus years. I mean, it is crazier, harder to find insurance than even after Andrew and all those type of things happened.
Yeah, perfect timing. Valerie just commented it felt like a full-time job trying to shop around for insurance. And everybody's in the same, everybody dealing with this is in the same situation. The frustration. The gentleman I interviewed today, he's looking and he's like, I had other plans to do the next week or so, and now I'm like glued to my phone trying to get this policy situation resolved. So certainly not anything anybody wanted to deal with.
No, and again, the worst part is, we've got a lot of our consumer base out there that are fixed income folks. And that's the one that, I have the biggest problem with, because these people now always need their insurance, but they really have no way to afford more. So that's been the challenge, trying to get them stuff that they can still afford and still, be on their retirement and live, a decent lifespan.
Robert, again, thank you. I want to thank everybody also for offering comments and questions. And I also want to invite a lot of the people out there, stay in touch with us here at News Channel 5, Michelle and I, and anybody else, especially if you find some solutions, or if you feel like something's gone wrong that's not fair or shouldn't be happening. We're certainly here to listen. And we do want to try to help people navigate through this time, because, as Robert, as you said, there is some legislation out there, but change is going to come slow. And in the meantime, we all have to kind of get through this period, it looks like.
Yeah, and again, don't get down and out because that's what Citizens is there for. It's your backstop. But definitely, try to find something you can. And unfortunately, I lose clients all the time because I don't have the product for them, but somebody else does that they found. But that's
Right.
just the way of the world. I mean, you can be in love with your insurance agent for the past 40 years, but if they don't have a product for you, maybe it's time to go somewhere else. The
Yeah.
other thing I'm telling people is, look to that bundling world today. A lot of times you can get an agent to give you a quote on your auto insurance that will save you money enough to offset some of the things on property insurance that are happening. So
Yep, I've heard of that too.
everything bundle. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
Right.
To echo what Matt said, our emails are easy to find on WPTV.com. Mine is michelle.quesada@WPTV.com. Matt's is his name as well. So please keep in touch with us with what worked for you. What solutions did you find? Or what unique problems are you coming across that maybe other people might be dealing with as well? Because we'd love to continue these discussions and be able to solve these problems for our viewers and at least get them information on what they can do about it.
Yeah, and everybody needs to stay diligent and stay tuned, to the Channel 5 folks or anybody out there where you can get directed to the right people.
All right.
I think it's a great thing to feed in information, and you guys can feed it out to everybody else. It's a great job.
Robert, it's not the last time we're going to be talking to you, I'm sure. We'll keep talking.
It's always great to talk, and anytime I'm here, local insurance nerd rock star, I'm here.
Thank you all so much. We appreciate your time. Good evening. Have a safe night. And please go to WPTV.com and take a look at our stories to make sure you're well informed.
And keep shopping around. Good night, everybody.
Good night.